Hey, remember that company that 20 days ago tried to backstab every third-party publisher and basically most of the community? Well, they just did a nice thing. So that's something. We're going to look at this together. This announcement just came out less than an hour ago. We're going to look at an email that I was personally sent from Wizards of the Coast, or at least whoever manages their creators, the first time they've ever contacted me about anything. But let's start on Twitter. Here's the real summary. We are leaving OGL 1.0a in place as is, untouched. They're not trying to revoke it. They're also not making that irrevocable. We are also making the entire SRD 5.1 available under a Creative Commons license. So that means all of the actual core rules, basically all of the basic rules, will be under Creative Commons, which they don't control. So let's see the letter itself from our boy Kyle Brink, who's been the face of these last couple announcements, including the one that he apologized in, and then the next day deceived everyone about irrevocability and the use of that word in 1.2. Let's remember that. But here we go. When you give playtest feedback, we take it seriously. Already more than 15,000 of you have filled out the survey. Here's what you said. And a thing to note here, before we even get to that, is we don't know what percentage of these 15,000 survey respondents are publishers. I imagine that the vast majority are just players and DMs who are invested in this, thankfully, standing by all the publishers and the creators. But anyway, let's look at it. 88% do not want to publish TTRPG content under OGL 1.2. 90% would have to change some aspect of their business to accommodate OGL 1.2. 89% are dissatisfied with deauthorizing OGL 1.0a. It's almost like they had an open letter sent to them with over 77,000 signatures asking for that, and at least over 20,000 people signed a separate petition asking to keep OGL 1.0a intact. Who would have expected this result? Okay, 86% dissatisfied with the draft VTT policy, and 62% are satisfied with including system reference document content in Creative Commons. And the majority of those who were dissatisfied asked for more SRD content in Creative Commons. Yeah, you might have seen my community post recently saying how they were excluding all the monsters, every spell, every race, every class, every magic item from what they were putting in Creative Commons. So they were really only adding the stuff that they probably don't have grounds to copyright in the first place. But this means something. That's nice. And what it does is it means everyone who's publishing now has the choice to use the OGL at all or to just use Creative Commons. I don't know if everything you publish with it just also becomes Creative Commons. We're going to need some actual lawyers to chime in on that one. The results are clear. You want 1.0a, you want irrevocability, you like Creative Commons. Okay, so thank you for finally hearing that after almost a month. Sorry, I'm getting loud here. The feedback is in such high volume, like me just now. And its direction is so plain. Now we're acting now. Yeah, I mean, you could have... Anyway, it's been 3 weeks. They knew this for 3 weeks. Creative Commons license makes the content freely available for any use. We don't control that license. We cannot alter or revoke it. It's open and irrevocable in a way that doesn't require you to take our word for it, which is a nice thing for them to say in there, because at this point we know we had their word. We had their word for 23 years, and less than a month ago, they tried to tear that up, right? So what about goals that drove us when we started this project? Oh yeah, because the first thing I tweeted about this was, oh no, Wizards of the Coast, no, how are you now going to protect yourself from these big corporations who want to steal your intellectual property? How are you going to protect yourself from the D&D NFTs? But they said they needed to deauthorize OGL 1.0a to protect themselves from, oh my gosh, from all this stuff that wasn't true. We're grateful that this community is passionate and active because we'll need your help protecting the game's inclusive and welcoming nature. I mean, do you? It's not up to us any more than we just protected it from you. It's frustrating. This is really fresh. I've never made a reaction video quite this fresh before. But the other thing I wanted to look at here, maybe 10 minutes after the announcement was made, I got an email. creators@wizards.com. This has never happened to me before, so that's why I'm sharing it all together in here. Hello, Bob. So I'm sure this went out to tons of people, but it was interesting that it actually took the couple seconds to put my name in there. As you might have seen on social media, our team has officially announced that the OGL 1.0A will not be touched. More importantly, that there is a long road ahead of the D&D team to start rebuilding trust with the community. Thank you for acknowledging that, because I really hope that everybody doesn't just forget about how they tried to literally end the livelihoods of thousands of independent publishers, many just self-employed people like myself. Man, we wanted to reach out to you, one of the many pillars of our community, with an opportunity to have some of your questions and concerns answered directly. Our team would like to know if you would be interested in sitting down virtually with the D&D team's executive producer, Kyle Brink, the guy whose name is on that statement, to ask the questions that are close to your and your community and the community's hearts. This is not a closed room interview. It's a conversation that we want to be as public or private as you desire. The past few weeks have hurt many people, but more than anything, it has disproportionately hurt all of you, the creators and lifelong fans of Dungeons and Dragons. There is hard work to be done by our team. That work starts now. Sincerely, the Wizards of the Coast influencer team. Really strange. The news, again, is shocking. They've proven that obviously no creator's eggs should all be in the one D&D basket, and I didn't mean that as one D&D, but the singular basket of Dungeons and Dragons, because they can just upheave it whenever they want. They promised to never get rid of the OGL before. All they did was just make that promise again. We're sort of just back to square one, and as far as I'm concerned, we still never got a real apology, because they apologized and then the next day tried to deceive everyone with the use of irrevocability in the statement versus how it was redefined in in the license. Yeah, getting a real apology would still be great, but keeping the OGL 1.0A, that was huge. But frankly, like, the move that I would still kind of want to see is that the people who were responsible for that backstab are out. That's kind of the thing that is still barring me from really trusting D&D, because if the people who are in control are the ones who just tried to do that, and of course they did it out of ignorance, not knowing how important this was to the community, but if they don't know us, it's like now they only think we're a bunch of like angry people because that's been their biggest interaction with us. I don't know. They burned a bridge, and I think to rebuild that bridge, we need nice people on the other side of it. Right now, as far as I know, it's the same people who just tried to screw everybody over. But to still end this on a positive note, this happened because of you. You know, you were out there fighting for this online as hard as anybody else, and that's what they heard. So yeah, thank you for standing by us creators, because this was huge. And if you're also a publisher out there, you know, use the Creative Commons version probably. And keep building. Bye.